Well, hello there and welcome to Thoughts from 2015. So these videos usually start out with a typical day in the life is, and then I kind of take you through my typical day in the life, but this year has been varied, to say the least. So, needless to say, I didn't really have a typical day in the life, but this year was very chock full of stuff, so let's get to the big stuff. So the first big thing is obviously brains. It defined the summer between my first and second year of graduate school and was by far the best and worst thing I've ever done. There's a link in the description for the full first season playlist as well as my plea to help make, you guessed it, a season 2. Brains caused a lot of strain on a lot of my friendships, but it strengthened the ones who endured. I am unbelievably proud of this project, and I'm so lucky to have been able to work with the people I did. If you haven't yet, please watch it. Literal blood, sweat, and tears went into this creation, and it solidified, as if I wasn't already sure, that this is absolutely what I should be doing with my life. Next, the brohort. My living situation as soon as I moved to New York was not ideal for a lot of reasons, so May 1st this year I moved in with 3 of my best friends from my program. Moving into the brohort also meant that I signed my first lease since I wasn't actually on the lease of my original apartment in New York, and I also set up my first utilities on my own, which I've never done. I'm ending this year in a better physical living space than I started it, so that's something. Third, I quit Fika. This was a big one for me. It was the first job I had in New York, which I got less than 24 hours after moving here, and it was the location of my first promotion to assistant manager. Ultimately, though, it was a toxic environment due to the inconsistent and disorganized upper management and the lack of necessary resources and staff to accompany hysterically lofty goals and expectations. I love and respect many of the people I worked with over my nearly year and a half working at Fika, but quitting this job was one of the best decisions I have ever made. Of course, despite the fact that it was a good decision, quitting Fika was not without its consequences. So I spent most of the back half of this year, especially post-brains and quitting my fairly good job, broke. Being a starving artist isn't nearly as fun as saying you're a starving artist, and I will leave it at that. One of the good things that came out of quitting Fika, other than not having to work at Fika anymore, was that I got an amazing internship with the MTV research department. I kind of talk about that in more detail in my most recent Things and Stuff video, and I never thought that I would say that. I never thought that I would be interning at MTV, and I certainly never thought I would be interning in the research department of anywhere, but both of those things ended up being amazing, and I'm so glad that I had that experience. And sort of the last thing that I want to recap for you in this Thoughts from 2015 is obviously that I moved in with my boyfriend, Quinn. Yes, he moved in with me and my 3 other male roommates, but it counts. We are sharing a room, a bed, a closet, a set of drawers, a desk, a home. We've been dating for almost 3 years, so it makes sense, even though over half of that was spent long distance, some of it internationally at long distance. But I'm really happy with where I am and where we are and all of that fun stuff. This was a huge year for me in ups and downs. I mean, I have a completed web series online right now that people who I don't know are fans of. I have an IMDb page. We're the official selection of 5 film festivals so far for a silly story about love and zombies and psychology. I also moved in with my boyfriend, and some of my best boyfriends quit my awful job and got an amazing internship. This year also sucked, though. I experienced my first truly debilitating panic attack in 4 years. I called 911 for the first time. I spent the night in the hospital for someone else, not me, and a very close friendship of mine ended, morphing into something else. I fought with people very close to me for a variety of reasons. I was depressingly close to not finishing brains at all, and I spent a lot of time either angry, sad, or frustrated. I started this year with a steady, well-paying, if soul-draining full-time job and ended it with a handful of freelancing gigs, a temporary part-time internship, terrified that I might not make rent. But as Jessica Jones said, knowing it's real means you gotta make a decision. 1, keep denying it. Or 2, do something about it. In 2016, I'm going to graduate from graduate school, and I have no idea what comes next. But echoing last year's sentiment, 2016, bring it the fuck on.